Oh, didn't see you there. I was just reading The Home Blacksmith by Ryan Ridgway. It's got some pretty cool information about my new hobby, blacksmithing. It's got loads of tools, techniques, and projects for your home blacksmith. Now, throughout this journey of blacksmithing, I'm going to be making several projects as well as trying out different techniques that blacksmiths use all around the world. Got a lot of my tools and stuff ready, but before I want to actually get to the forging, I have this rapier that I got at Goodwill a while back, and I don't exactly like how the grip feels, and it's also very, very loose on the hilt itself, which is actually very nice, by the way. And so I wanted to make a new handle out of this piece of wood. Alright, so to make this handle, I'm actually gonna go ahead and carve this into kind of a cylinder shape with this here wood chopper thing. And then I'm gonna take this string and wrap it around kind of in a spiral formation to hopefully then use this Dremel and carve a cool design into it. Alright, I went ahead and finished the fluting on this handle with a circular file and several rounds of sandpaper, different grits. Now it looks really nice. I really like this. And next up we're going to give it some stain. Hopefully give it some more durability. This is all stained up and we'll be ready for a top coat in the morning. Now that was a load of fun. But I know what you're saying, When's he gonna start actually forging steel? This is why I'm here. Now listen, we'll get to that next. I'm currently on my way to the steel shop. The closest one I could find was 30 minutes away. And the air conditioning in my car broke, so... Alright, so I have the steel that I got from the warehouse, and this piece right here I've already attached a piece of rebar. That way I have a handle to hold it while I forge. But to start off, I'm going to actually cut out this template for this knife here, and then try and make a knife that way before having to forge out any of the big stock of metal. And here is the rough profile. I just got a little more tidying up to do, and then it'll be good to get cracking on. With that angle grinder, I got it rough shaped out, but it is getting pretty hot, so I'm gonna head into the garage and do some filing work. Now I've got this profile rough ground, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started just cleaning this up with the file, and I'm going to use this as kind of like a little thing to hold this up against while I'm filing. It'll make it a lot easier. I've cleaned it up a little bit more, and now it's time to put in this bevel. We're going to put on the kind of the edge of the blade, and I've sketched out kind of where I want it. I'm going to file it down from there so that it goes to the center. Alrighty then, we've got this nice and beveled. I've gone ahead and filed away some of the imperfections as well. There's obviously still some scuffs around here. I'll get the sandpaper out for that. But other than that, it's a pretty nice edge. Now that I have this to a file finish, I'm gonna go ahead and heat it up till it's red hot and no longer magnetic, up to like 1500 degrees, and then I'll go ahead and quench it in some vegetable oil, and that will go ahead and harden the blade. Alright, this just isn't getting hot enough with the blowtorch, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and fire up the forge.
Wait a minute, heating up metal? Why would you need to do that? You just ground out the rough shape of it, right? Now, listen, there's a lot going on here behind the scenes, and on a molecular scale, it's actually pretty crazy. Let me tell you about it. Basically, the way that heat treating metal works is first, there's the normalizing cycle, which means that after you forge out the metal, the metal atoms actually get kind of squished together and stretched around, and that's kind of not good for the metal. So we put it in the forge, get it really hot, let it cool down naturally, just in room temperature, and it'll kind of rearrange the atoms how they're supposed to be. The next stage that most knives go through is the hardening process, which is the one that I'm putting the knife through right now. And actually, what it does is after you heat up the blade to critical temperature and then quench it in oil, the blade will quickly rearrange itself and harden as it cools so quickly, and it makes the metal actually very, very hard and very durable. After that, the knife is hard, but the thing is that a sharp blow will actually release that tension that was built during the quick cooling. So if you drop it or hit it with something, then chances are that it's gonna like break and hurt someone, and that's not good. So the way to fix that is through the tempering cycles, which usually consists of putting a knife into an oven for 400 degrees for 2 2-hour periods. And what that does is that maintains the hardness of the blade while also releasing the tension inside and making it more safe to handle, and it won't just explode if you drop it, which was bad.
Alright, and that there is hardened steel. And into the oven it goes. The knife is out of its heating cycles. Now it's ready for some sandpaper. After about 100 pieces of sandpaper, gluing up the leather strap handle onto the handle of the blade and giving it a whetstone finish, it is now complete. What a journey that was. But that's not really how professional blacksmiths do it these days. So, this time we're going to start a new project, but rather than cutting it out of a sheet of metal, we're actually going to forge it out of a block of metal. Ingot of steel into And that is what we call failure. Now, you may be wondering what happened there, and so was I. But basically, the forge that we have didn't quite get to temperature, and the weld that was holding the handle onto the piece of steel just wouldn't cut it. Broke off. But, you know, a lot of people have industrial propane burners on their forge, and that gets pretty hot, but I ain't got that kind of time or money. They also have giant power hammers that exert tons and tons of force on every single blow of the hammer for you, and those are pretty cool as well, but, you know, this is home blacksmithing, so... This is pretty cool, though. Look at that. Probably just gonna let it burn out. Alright, the forge is fired up again, and we're gonna make another knife. This one's gonna be more of like a dagger, medieval time style, and it should turn out pretty good. Okay, now that it is very hot, and I just put the blade in for its normalizing cycle, and it melted. The steel melted. It's yeah. So looks like I'm doing a new one tomorrow. Days later, I'm starting again. Hopefully this one will turn out better. Wow, I really don't know how to record my progress, do I? Well, after I forged the point onto that blade, and a few of the bevels, I took it into the garage and used that angle grinder to hog off some more material and shine it up a little bit. Fast, I've gotten this down to a file finish. It's not super great right now. I'm gonna clean it up some more, and then I'll be able to harden it in that furnace again. This one took a bit longer than the last one just because it has more surface area and twice as many beveled edges. Got the knife heat treated and also the hilt forged out. This quenching tape keeps falling over. It's so annoying. Well, everywhere. Unbelievable. Another knife in the oven. Alright, we're getting close. I've got the handle all done up, and I've also got the hilt all nice and file finished, and then just some more sanding it on this blade, as well as tacking it to the rest of things, and then that should be pretty good, I think. Hey. Alright, I've bored a hole through the guard handle thing, and I've also finished up the handle, and I'm gonna go ahead and piece them all together. This should be the final step, really. I really didn't think that I could do it. Wow, this is exciting stuff. Not only did I do this knife, but I also made this bigger knife that I was like not too sure about. This was a big step for me. And all in all, I think that this was a really fun project. Although my hands have never been more cut up or blistered, this was still probably one of the coolest hobbies that I pursued, and I can't wait to pursue it further, which I am going to do. I actually have a lot more stuff planned. I'm gonna fix up things that I did, and yeah, I'm just